Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Marjorie Whitley, a worship leader, singer, songwriter, photographer, lover of God and all things prophetic. And today I have a prophetic word that the Lord gave me a couple of weeks ago. He gave it to me in advance because He wanted me to have some time to study it. And it has a lot of scriptural references and it's pretty loaded. So I'm just going to read this word first, and then I'll go through with the applications as I see fit. And hopefully, as I'm reading through, the Lord will spark something in you. So here's how it begins. Do you hear the clarion call? Do you hear the sound of the alarm on the horizon? Do you hear the earth moaning and groaning and crying out? For these are the signs of the times. As the earth moans and groans. For the earth will moan and groan until those are called to rise up to take their place, take their station. For I have not called you to lose a battle. I do not call my army and my soldiers together so that they would lose a battle, so that they would lose this war. That is not my plan. My plan is for victory, as victory has always been my plan. Whenever my children call out to me in victory, victory, victory is at hand. So do not think you are defeated. You are not a defeated people. You are not a defeated army. You are not grasshoppers in the midst of giants. You are my mighty warriors, called to battle, called to defeat the giant, called to shut the mouth of that ogre speaking lies. Was David afraid of the giant because of his size, meaning David's size? David did not see the giant. David saw me. The Spirit was on him. He knew where his strength was. He knew where his confidence was. It was in the Lord. That is where your confidence needs to be. That is where your strength needs to be. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. For your strength is not in the left or the right. Your political leaders do not know the strength of the Lord. Do not look to them as guides, for they do not know. Your guide is in heaven. Your guide is in heavenly places. Do not think that you are small. Do I not use the things that are weak to confound the things of the strong and wise and learned? It is not your flesh, it is not your own strength that leads you up a mountain and gives you victory. It is my strength, just as in the days of old when the armies of the Lord would go forth in battle and they would cry out to me and they would blow their trumpets and their enemies would scatter. Because I am the Lord, I am greater than all of those things. Put your strength in me, for I have won this battle. I have already won this battle. But I want you to climb with me. I want you to go with me. Gird up your strength. You are not weak. You are not a weak people. You have the strength of 10,000 armies at your side. You can defeat this foe. Oh, my little children who do not know, who have never seen, who do not know the power of the Red Sea and how I parted that Red Sea. But you're going to see that power. You're going to see that power in this day. Yes, that power is coming, just like the children who crossed the sea. There will be those who will doubt and cry out and want to go back to Egypt. But you can't go back to Egypt. You can only move forward. And when you move forward, there will be more battles, more victories, and more things to conquer. For just like a weed, if you do not stop this pest from growing, it will come back and it will take over your garden and it will choke you out. It is not time to rest. It is not time to sit back on your laurels. It is time to gather your strength and look to me as your king and guide. not your political leaders. They will not help you. They will not protect you. It is time to grow up, America, my church, my people. It is time to grow up and put your childish things away. There is a war. There is an army out there, and you have to defeat it. It will not go away. It must be destroyed. As I instructed Saul to destroy the Amalekites, and he disobeyed me and did not destroy them. And it produced weeds. Weeds in my garden that have to be taken out this day. Even this day, those weeds are taking over the garden. They are trying to choke you. You must subdue them. Okay, so I did a deep dive here on the Amalekites because when the Lord gave me this word, I didn't really understand how the Amalekites were a problem in this day. Okay, so in the Exodus, when after the Red Sea, the Amalekites attacked the Israelites from behind. They attacked the weak and the elderly people. And they ended up, the Israelites ended up defeating them at that time. And then Moses built an altar and called it "The Lord is my banner." He said, because hands were lifted up against the throne of the Lord will be at war with the Amalekites from generation to generation. And so I did some more digging and, learned that the Jews today over in Israel consider the Palestinians to be the modern day Amalekites. And basically, an Amalekite is anybody who's coming against the Jewish nation. And it's the same spirit that tried to annihilate the Jews in World War II from the Nazis. It's the same spirit, though, that from what the Lord kind of showed me, it's the same spirit that was on Cain when he killed Abel, because Abel was supposed to be the line of Christ. And it was from the very beginning, Satan trying to take out that line of Christ. So fortunately, God created Seth. And so everything came through the line of Seth. Now, how does this apply to what's happening in the United States? Because this word was really for the United States. And I had to really kind of pursue the Lord on that too, because I didn't understand. And I asked him, I said, well, what is this war? What is this battle you're talking about? And he said that the war was the war for the soul of America. And so how I perceive the Amalekites, or the Amalekite spirit, that Antichrist spirit, and anti-Semitism spirit, that's very prevalent in Israel right now, but it's also making its head over here in the United States. On the college campuses, they have these young people out protesting against Israel and pro-Palestine. And it actually caused a stir within the Jewish kids who are going to these colleges that they were being anti-Semitic. And they were afraid, and I kind of don't blame them for that. So our Congress decided to come up with this Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. And on paper, it looks really good because it looks like it's trying to protect the Jews from anti-Semitism. But if you look closer into it, it has implications that could really affect our First Amendment free speech. And if our free speech is taken away, that means that anybody who disagrees with a Christian narrative or a Christian point of view can be considered hate speech. And it's already been going on. There are already groups out there saying that Christianity is hate speech because it doesn't accept all lifestyles. So this is how this weed is coming into America. It's very surreptitious. It's very stealthy. It's coming in to infiltrate through the college campuses, and it's going to infiltrate, I think, through the church too. So we need to be aware of that. So I'm reminded of what Paul said in 2 Corinthians 10, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. That means that our prayers are so powerful. They're more powerful than a sword. If you are an intercessor and you feel called to pray, I want to just really encourage you to get in your prayer closet and pray against these things as the Lord shows you, because He's instructing us to do that right now. Okay, so the other scriptural reference that the Lord was alluding to in this word, He says here, do you hear the earth moaning and groaning and crying out? For these are the signs of the times. And so that scripture came from Matthew 24, 4:14. And we'll just look over here really quick. Let's see. Actually, I have it from Matthew 24, 6 through 8, where He says, and you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in various places. And all these things are the beginning of sorrows. And I think we can all agree that's where we are. I mean, we're seeing earthquakes, we're seeing nation against nation, definitely in a season of pestilence. So this is our time to put on our weapons. You know, I'm being reminded too of Ephesians 6, where Paul talks about, you know, putting on your full armor. We have to be diligent right now. We have to keep our minds sharp. We can't just drift off. As he says in this word, it's time to wake up. And of course, we've been waking up, but it's like, I think people are trying to kind of fall back asleep again and put our trust in these politicians. This is an election year, and we just did an election yesterday. I went and voted, and it's so easy to think that you're going to vote for somebody who is going to take care of things and see things the way that you do. But the Lord is saying that they don't. They really don't. A lot of these people are getting payoffs, and they're corrupt. A lot of them. I'm not saying they all are, but that's another reason why, if you feel called to government, that you need to just get up and start getting into that position. If you feel called to pray for government or people in government, then it's time to do that. But I just feel really strongly right now in my spirit that there is just a real intensity building right now between now and November, whenever we're going to have our presidential election. I just really feel this tension. I feel this spiritual tension building. I just feel like it's more urgent now than it even was 4 years ago. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that we need to be alert. We need to be alert and call on that army that he said, the 10,000 armies at our side. I mean, that's an army of angels, and that's massive. The other reference, let's see, was he says, as the earth moans and groans, which is from Romans 8:18 through 22. And I'm just going to refer to that really quick because that's from the Apostle Paul. Let's see here. Okay, here. Romans 8:19. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. For the creation was subjected to frustration, not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay and brought into the freedom and glory of the children of God. We know the whole creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. And for me, it sounds like what he's saying, this is the season that the children of God, when we are raised up, when we take our positions, that's going to impact our creation. Right now, our creation is going crazy because the children of God had not taken position. That's the way I see it. That's the way I feel about it. If you have another perspective on it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Let's see, what else did he refer to here in this word? Let's see. There are lots of references here. There's, of course, a reference to the giants from Numbers 13. And, this could be possibly going down a little bunny trail, but I'm going to look at that really quick too, because in the amplified version, Caleb, let's see. So this is when they were spying out the land to take possession after crossing the Red Sea, crossing the Jordan. And let's see, Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let's go up at once and take possession of it, for we will certainly conquer it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people of Canaan, for they are too strong for us." So they gave the Israelites a bad report about the land which they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we went and spying out is a land that devours its inhabitants." To me, that sounds like cannibalism. Okay. And all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. There we saw the Nephilim. The sons of Anak are part of the Nephilim. And we are like grasshoppers in our own sight. And so we were in their sight. And this is the Amplified version. It actually does refer to the Nephilim. So I just want to put that out there too, because the Lord kept bringing up a reference to giants and shutting the mouth of the giant. So I'm not really clear exactly what he's trying to say here, but hopefully he'll give me more insight over time. I know the Nephilim is a big topic right now. So apparently, or supposedly, the Nephilim are still in our midst in some form or another, from what I've heard. Okay, one thing the Lord is telling me, though, that there is a giant in our land that we are cowering under, thinking that our leaders are going to put things right. God gave you an assignment in this time. Pray about where you're supposed to use your talents in this time. So you were born for such a time as this. We were all born in this season, in this time. So if you're feeling, a trigger inside of yourself, that's God. Just pray about it. Pray about where he wants you to step. Even if it's a small thing, it's okay. Just start stepping into that small thing. If it's God, he will build on it and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the way he works anyway. He's not going to put something really big on your shoulders that you can't handle until you kind of grow into it a bit. That's about all that I have for today, and I hope that was insightful. And so I just look forward to the next time when the Lord gives me something really cool to share. So if you would like to leave a comment, I would love that. Just hear your thoughts on this. And, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. And I will talk to you next time. Have a great day. Okay, I forgot to mention that there is a link in the description to my blog. I posted this word in my blog if you'd like to just check it out and look for yourself. And I do have links to the different scriptures and things within there. And since this word mentioned something about blowing the trumpets, I kind of felt like I was supposed to blow my shofar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Whew. Okay, now go out there and get them.